Rain starting to move out of the Bay Area here this evening. Let's bring in meteorologist Natalie Ferrari with a look at how tomorrow will shake out.
I know. Some people were like, what rain are you talking about? It is very isolated. It actually bubbled up pretty quickly along I-75 earlier this afternoon and then moved offshore just as quickly as well. We do still have some of those clouds left over from behind some of those showers and storms, but really from Pinellas into Hillsborough, things are kind of thinning out when it comes to those showers. Tarpon Springs just saw its last quick little downpour. Now we do still have some of this activity going from Holmes Beach all the way from Bradenton Beach down into parts of Sarasota. That's where we still have a few of those isolated downpours holding on, but they're few and far between. And if anything, you got the clouds left over with it. This is actually a live view from our WeatherTight Windows camera in here in St. Pete, just on top of our station, facing out back towards the coast where you see those towering clouds. They will be thinning out and continuing to move off to the Gulf of Mexico as we get closer and closer to sunset. So through tonight, gradually clearing conditions, and that'll be good because some spots that are still in the upper 80s still feel like the triple digits out there. But then we do have a few areas that actually got a little bit of brief rain-cooled air, like into southeastern Hillsborough, into parts of Sarasota and Manatee counties, and that's where we went from the 90s into the 80s within the last hour or two. So here's our futurecast showing all of those showers thinning out. They're moving offshore. We're going to get quiet well before sunset tonight, which is at 8 o'clock this evening. Mostly clear through tomorrow morning and on the mild side. Tomorrow, I think a little bit of dry air is going to try to dominate. So that's only going to give us about a 10 to 20% chance for an isolated late afternoon shower. So that will keep rain chances on the lower side. And we'll actually stay relatively isolated with those rain chances through Saturday. Bump that up ever so slightly Sunday and Monday. But by late Monday, going into Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we will see the increasing chance of some moisture through parts of the Sunshine State. To the extent of that, we are still kind of checking off those question marks at this point. But as of the 2 p.m. update, we are dealing with an area of disorganized thunderstorm activity over Central America. Over the next 48 hours, not looking very likely for any development, but it's really once we get towards early to the middle of next week, this is where we're going to have to watch this disturbance try to get its act together. I'm taking you through the weekend. Let's stop this on Saturday night. This is our European model, so we're looking far ahead into the future. This is showing some area of organization trying to get its act together, likely trying to even turn into a depression as early as Sunday, but that potential will grow as this energy does push away from the Caribbean and into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. The European model has really been betting that this is going to try to turn into something tropical, something organized in the eastern Gulf of Mexico by Tuesday going into Wednesday, flinging all that moisture our direction. The GFS, another global model that we keep an eye on very closely, not quite buying that timing, basically the strengthening or the placement of this development, this potential development. It does pick up the tropical moisture, that's for sure. But once we get closer to early to middle of next week, it drifts it more so over Cuba, not really ever getting its act together, but still trying to bring rain our way. So we do have still a lot of question marks that we're going to be watching for you over the weekend. But bottom line, 60% chance in the next 5 to 7 days. So early to middle of next week, we could have some tropical development. A depression could be as early as late weekend, but that's when we'll have to watch out for any advisories or as well as that cone. That's when we would see that forecast come out. So keep an eye on the forecast over the weekend. It's going to change, especially as we get into early next week. Impacts, I'm talking rain, maybe even some of those winds will get very, very dicey as far as watching that timing by the early parts of next week. So Monday night, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. So we'll keep you updated, especially as that placement gets going into next week. That's also when we could see, again, that increase of rain chances.